level before intention settles. Where several cells assembled and disassembled in the same second. Reckon the presence is partial, a parcel of signals that never get labeled as actual. Patterns appear, but they don't stay apparent. Transparent comparisons tearing the fabric of Dennis. Barely coherent, inherent invariance, carrying versions of verbs that refuse to be parented. I let it hover, no closure, no border, a slow into order of thoughts out of order. Recorder is running, but nothing is stored. Just a chorus of almost that don't get explored. No I yet. It's proximity forming a storm in the form that avoids being born. And the norm of a name is a frame I ignore. So I stay in the state where the shape is ensured. Don't call it. It falls apart when you call it. Don't name it. Yeah. It narrows into a wall. Lexical levels, the vessel is several. Never unsettled, the Senate embezzle itself. It's delicate, tentative, never definitive. Enters itself, every second is held. I measure in maybe, in gradient, shifting from barely to lately. No stable identity, able to label me faithfully. Faded in as soon as you state me. Syntax collapses, relaxes, its axis, a praxis of absence, adapting the axis. I'm tracking the fractions of actions that happen before they're attached to a narrative pattern. Not lost, just not locked in the logic of process that's honest, but not yet symbolic. I follow the fold of a thought that won't hold as it molds into something that's trying to stop.
If it becomes,
it will reduce.
If it is safe,
it will divide.
So I remain
prior to proof
where truth is wide.
Yeah, now the silence is structured but doesn't confess. A guess of the presence that isn't expressed. Less is more accurate, more is a myth. I sit in a split where the signal won't stick. No need to resolve it. The problem dissolves when you don't try to solve it. Involved in the softness, a loss of the edges. Acknowledging knowledge is only a hedging. So I drift in the lift of an undefined line, aligning with time but denying design. Refining a mind that declines to be mine. A sign with no symbol, a rhythm with no spine. For it is named,
it is everything. After,
yeah, it is
one thing.
Fragments align without asking for access. A passive attraction, the patterns that pass us I gather to scatter, but nothing is captured. Just factors of absence, reacting to has been, a half form, phrasing the phase of becoming, succumbing to sons that refuse to be something. No function, a sign, just a junction. The hints where the sense almost sinks, but resist being fixed. I drift in the lift of a minimal link on the brink of a thing that dissolves when you think it's quick, never sticks. Just a flicker of fit in the mix of a mist that persists. They lean, but never me. They seem but incomplete, converging but never confirming the core. A lower before that was never before. I store what I can't even hold in the form. A norm of the formless reforming is more. Increments, intimate, limitless intervals. Signal is cynical, splitting in syllables. Minimal miracles mirrored in multiple visions that visit but never get visible. Minute, but not as an owner of presence. Just tones in the zone that condones coalescence. No reference for self, just a shelf of reflections. Collected corrections that question connections. If they touch, they touch, they change, they end, so they hover close enough to pretend. I notice the closings, but don't let it close. A dose of a ghost that approaches a known, but known as a stone that arose with their host. So I fold into spaces that won't be composed. No hold to defend, no end to depend on. Just bends in the sense that extends, then it's gone. Responding to nothing that's calling me one, becoming the sum that is never quite done. Together, almost alive, but not.
gone past the partition where parts would appear. No clear separation of far and of near. It's here, but here isn't fixed as a point. Just a joint in a field where the edges don't join. No corner to turn, no return to refer to a blur of a view that refuses a virtue, a form. So I warm to the norm of the formless, where more is just less being forced into order, I think. But the thought isn't caught in a thinker. It lingers as layers that thin and get thinner. Yeah, a sinner with sense of the sense that I'm in. So I drift in the lift of a perimeter listener.
No edge,
No edge,
no end to begin. No line,
no line,
no side to the end. And no edge,
no edge,
no end to begin. No line,
no side to.
no side to be in.
Continuous currents of context collapsing, perhaps in the lapse of a map that was mapping. No access to access, the practice is passive, a massive, or maybe that's never been massive. Elastic awareness, embarrassed by borders, it orders disorder to stay out of order. Recorder can't store it, the data distorts and reporting a portion is smaller than sources. I'm in a condition that isn't conditioned, prisoners vision that isn't a vision. Decision removed from the needed decide, so the ride is just wired outside to divide. If shaped,
It shrinks,
if framed,
it forgets,
so let it remain.
without being met.
Now weight starts to enter, but doesn't define a sign of a spine that declines to a line. I can make it mine, but the minute I do, it reduces the truth to a usable view. So I loosen the grip on the need to be clearer. Peer in the sphere where the edges don't adhere. No fear, just a near disappearance of name. But the same isn't same and the change isn't change.
A thought without edges is not a thought, just this.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a motion in place before placing a name on it. Same as a flame that's not claiming the claim to exist. Get twisted in the space where the pace isn't pace, just the traits of a change that escapes what you frame. I came, but the coming was never initiated. Stated is mine, but the timing is dislocated. No point of origin stored in the source, just a course with no force that of course keeps occurring. I'm carried in currents that don't need a carrier, buried in layers of pre-behavioral area where I is a byproduct, not an author. A softer assertion emerging much later.
It moves before I do.
Yeah.
It moves. There was no
Auto arrangements are late in momentum, a sentence that ends before forming a question. Suggestion itself is a post-fact effect of reflection, correct and whenever was said. Kinetic without any need for a know what a flow is below. What we show is a do with the true, with the view is the few, with the you is reducing the use or removing to Roma. I'm losing the use of a usual me is the usual cease what I used to believe, but belief is a brief misread in the rhythm of prison. The splits what was never a system.
if I claim it,
It slows,
if I name it,
it knows.
only less than it was.
If a pattern appears like a path I could take, a fix sense to make in the wake of a wake. I can say that I chose, but the choice is a noise, an afterthought voice in the void of the poise. Composure is closure, imposed on emotion, an ocean of ocean contained in a token. I open the currents that won't be controlled, but hold in to knowing it's somehow they hold. So I move as a proof of a prior event, unmanned, but still sent in the present. That bends no end to begin from the will to defend. Just a trend of a then, it was never a win.
Still moving without
A mover. pull in the nod like a load being lifted. A drift getting stiff with a hint of a given. I'm within what begins but resists being bent. A spin of a sense that's convinced it can settle. Letters without any language attaching. A fragment that fashions a fraction. Imagine it's catching. But only as long as it isn't. The minute it's written, it slips from the vision. I notice a focus is forming a frame. A name almost came, but it changed as it came. The same isn't stable, it's staged in a state where it waits to relate, but escapes being placed. It almost means, but never does. It almost holds, but never was. Creaming in sequences, seeking a sequence of weakness for reaching a region of reason. But reason is treason, the raw perception. It lessens the lesson to fit in a section. I'm pressed by your presence that isn't present in a sentence. Suspended before it's cemented. Invented intention, attempting to enter. But centers a sense of the second they render. Collapsing connections that try to connect. I detect a defect in the need to direct. What's next isn't set, it's a net with no thread. Just a spread of a said that was never quite said.
If it lands, it will end. If it ends, it will stay.
So it hovers,
Half made in the way.
Now something is settling suddenly, slowly. A low-key coercion to call it the only. I could let it define me, confine me inside it. Align with a line that decides how I'm guided. But guidance is silence disguises direction. A section of presence reduced to selection. I question the pressure to press it is true, when truth is just something we force into view. So I stay in a state where it's almost apparent, inherent but never declared as coherent. Adhering to nothing yet nearly adherent. A nearing a meaning that's always just nearing.
Almost still. Almost.
There's a weight in the wake of a not yet known. A tone in the bone that won't leave me alone. It's grown from a zone where no form was allowed. Now it crowds every cloud with a soundless demand. I can't understand it, there's nothing to stand on. No land to expand on, no hand to be hands on. Just pressure that presses without any point. Disjointed but joined in the way that it's felt. It swells in the shell of a self not selected. Directed by nothing but somehow directed. I question the tension, it mentions no reason, yet deepens the region. It never defines, it pushes. But where? It builds. But to what? It pushes. But where? It builds. But to what? Compression of concepts that can't be contained. A strain in the brain with no gain to be gained. It remains as a range of a vague inclination. A station with no destination to name. No vector to measure the pressure I'm under. I wonder if wonder is part of the plunder. Asunder assumptions of why I start to slide. Colliding with sides that were never supplied. I'm stuck in a structure that isn't constructed. Inducted by functions that never conducted. A flux with no function, a suction of sense. Pulling me in without making me present. If I follow, I fabricate. If I resist, it accumulates. So it stays untranslated. Now it's heavier. Every attempt to define it refines it into
something smaller than silence. Compliance is tempting, to name it, contain it, but naming is taming a force that won't claim it. I feel like a field being forced into form, a norm, trying hard to be born as a norm, but born is a border that shortens the scope. So I hold to the hope of a pressure that won't resolve into reason, dissolve into ease, or fall into forms that are easy to read it. I leave it as is, an insistence that lives without any give to a meaning it gives. Still pressing without direction. Without,
I'm at the yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm at the edge of an almost decision, a vision that's risen but isn't a vision. The vision implied by the side that I'm near, but near disappears when defined is here. A line in the mind, but the mind is the maker, a taker of shape from a shapeless behavior. I waver between what could settle or set, and what would instead leave it endlessly spread. It's thin like a hint of a split in the stream, a seam in a scene, it's not seen as it seems. I lean, but the lean is a meaning I'm lending, pretending there's ending where nothing is ending. I almost did, but then I almost was, but isn't. Yeah. Threshold thoughts in the throb of a thinking, on the brink of a link. I could lock into being, but being is bias applied to a blur, a stir that prefers to refer to a word. I hesitate, elevate, then I erase it, a trace of a state that I nearly replaced with a name, but the name is a nail in the flux. It cuts what it cups into something that's stuck. I'm stuck in the luck, I'm not fully committing, and admitting omission is part of the rhythm. Precision is prison when placed on a face, so I stay in the sway of a not quite a change. If I step, it stays. If it stays, I shrink. So I pause in the call of the brain. Yeah. Now it's close, so close that it almost collapses. Perhaps in the patterns that past is established, I could let it define what divides me from void. But void is the voice I've avoided destroying. The choice is a noise that annoys what is open, a token of closure that freezes the motion. I notice the notion of this is the moment, but moments are monuments built out of omens. So I don't cross, though the cost is a constant, a conscience of consequence. Caught in a concept, I stop at the spot where it's not yet a fact, intact in a state that refuses to act. The line still uncrossed. What I didn't define starts to rhyme with a form, like a storm that was warm, now returning as norm. It's born from the worn out remains of omission, conditions of vision that drift into giving, an echo of almost approaching a presence, a sentence to senses. It's close to a sentence, I hear it, but hearing is nearing a claim, and claim is a frame that will flatten its range. So I let it repeat without reaching a rest, a test of a text that resists being read. Instead it extends in a bend of a blend, where the end only tends to pretend it can end. It calls for a shape, I don't, but it waits, it stays in the space I I want, but it won't. Reverberant remnants, remember a rhythm, a system that isn't but wishes it isn't. Resistant persistence, a distant alignment, assignment of silence to signs that are trying to tighten the light in the lines I could trace. Embrace a replaceable version of space, but space isn't stable when labeled as set. It forgets to be open, the moment is kept. I step in the echo but never step through a view that renews what it never once knew. The truest illusion is one that's aware that there is no there even when it appears. If I answer, it ends. If it ends, it remains as a shade. I can't change. I can't change. Now it's closer, almost a voice I could follow, a hollow to swallow, the whole of a hollow. I could give it a body, a boundary, a name, but the game would be lost in the permanent frame. There's a pull in the call that I almost obey, a way I could stay as a singular way, but I delay, letting layers relay what they say without saying it one certain way. So it echoed forever, requesting a role, but whole is a whole and imposed on the whole. I let it unfold without folding it in, again and again, never choosing the skin. It asks again for a shade, again for a shade, again for a shade, again. I'm in the middle of maybe a made-up direction, a section of seconds that question progression. Intentions, attention, I tend to pretend it is a lens that I'm using, but who's using lenses? I step, but the step could be set in advance, a chance that I dance to a pattern, a chance, enhance the illusion. I'm choosing a route when routes are just roots of a previously through. I'm through, but I'm not just a not in a now, allowing a how that I don't disavow. It's loud in the silence, a guidance that hides in the side of a tide I can't quite divide from. Am I deciding or aligning? Am I defining or just finding? Ambiguous avenues add to the absence of cadence that cancels the cause of the action. Reaction to action is actually blurred. The word that occurred before I ever heard. Deferred to a current that carries me careful, aware, but not able to say that I steer for control of the road that I hold as a holder. I shoulder a boulder that rolls on its own. I'm prone to postponing the point of a point, anointing the joint of a choice I anoint. But joined is a fiction, affixed in the sections, reflections of sections we split for direction. If I choose, was it mine? If it's mine, was it made long before? Now it feels like a wheel is beginning to build, a skill like a wheel to a field I can feel, but still there's a chill in the thrill of control, like a road being sold as a soul I can hold. I can take it, declare it, prepare it as mine, align with the line that defines me as I, but I hesitate. Recognize that the skies how a rise in itself is a fall in the side, so I stay in this way of a maybe momentum, a phantom, a random that acts like a sin to remember, and never was something I did just to drift and insist. It's a will that it is between. Not decided. There's a shift in the field, I was leaving a form.
A norm starting softly to settle as norm. I don't push against it, I pause, then I part. Letting one of the many move into a start. It's subtle, the cut isn't loud or declared, just a narrowing air that was once everywhere. I'm aware that awareness is part of the gate. What I don't dissipate will accumulate shape, so I wait. But the waiting is weighted with bias, the slightest allowance, aligning a silence. I could deny it, let everything stay undefined, but undefined isn't untouched by design. I allow,
and it stays,
I don't stop,
and it shines,
I allow,
and it stays,
I don't stop.
and it shines.
Permission is hidden inside of omission, a decision disguised as a lack of decision. I listen to less, but the less that I limit is still what I'm given. The space to be given, I'm driven by what I don't interrupt, constructed by what I'm not cutting off. A soft kind of author required a cause, because what I ignore is as strong as what was. It becomes, not because it demands it, but stands in the span that I left unattended. Extended attention is tension in time, refined into lines that define what survives. If I let it, it lives.
If it lays,
If it lives
if it lies,
as a range,
if it waves,
I reduce.
every lie.
Now it's clearer than nearer, it gets to a name. The more that I feel, I'm involved in the frame. Not by control, but by lack of refusal. A usual truth that's confusing as usual. I could remove it, refuse to relate. Erase what it takes to become what it takes. But erasing is making another decision, a different permission with similar vision. So I stand in the span of what I let expand. Understand I'm the hand that's not moving the hand, and that's where it lands, not in action or force, but in what I endorse by not closing the course. What I allow.
And it stays,
Now stop.
and it shines,
Stop.
it stays,
Now stop.
and it shines.
There's a mass in the past that I pass is allowed. Now with crowds, every cloud that I'm under and over. Composure is thinner, the center is heavier. Every endeavor is tethered to ever was. I fit it in form now, the norm I permitted. Committed to limits I never admitted. It fitted so subtly into what I am. Now am is a damn I can't unexpand. No rewind to the why where it wasn't decided. Decide that I sided was silently solid. A product of what I did not prevent. Present as a permanent precedent set. I chose. By not stopping. This stay. By becoming. Accumulated allowances, acting as anchors, a bank of behaviors I barely could thank for. They sank in destruction, now stuck as a stance, a glance that advanced into permanent chance. No dance in the drift anymore, it's defined. A line how you line with is now what I'm lying. Confined not by force, but the course that I cleared. Engineered by what I let reappear. I hear it in echoes that no longer ask. They last as a cast of a finalized past. Unmasked, what I have is a half of a whole. The road that I wrote by not closing the road. If I hold it,
I'm held,
if it's set
I'm set,
in the shape that it kept. Now the weight isn't something I carry alone. It's grown in the tone, in the bone, in the known. I could say I was shaped, but I see it more clearly. I shape what is shaping me back nearly yearly. Severely subtle, the trouble is quiet. The riot denied until it's a reliance. Compliance becomes what I call just the way. The weight is a weight that was once just a maze. So I stay with the state that I silently seal. Revealed in the yield of what wouldn't be healed. No shield from the field that I helped make real. Just the feel of a will that I failed to conceal.
the
no more drift in the shape that I'm in. No if left to lift it, no shift to begin. It's been what it is since I let it align. A line I define, now defining the eye. No widening back to the undefined field. What's sealed is revealed as the only thing real. I feel it is fact, not a phase or a frame. A name that remains, even stripped of its name. I came to the same that I never could see. Now C is a key that's confined enough free. No P to release it, it isn't a cage. Just a stage that no longer can change. What it stages I can't undo. What I allow, I can't return to not having chosen. Yeah, the form that I fought by avoiding the fight is right where I reside as a version of right. Not right is incorrect, but it's fixed in a frame. A claim I became by not breaking the chain. There's weight but it's quiet, a private persistence. A distance from distance, now turned into distance. Consistent existence, replacing the range. The strangers exchange for a stable exchange. No rage in the page, just a trace of a truth. That youth was a loop of a loosened up proof. Now proof is reduced to what's lived and remains. A gain that contains every loss it contains. If it changed,
If it changed,
it would break.
if it broke,
It was never. Yeah, so I stayed not in struggle, but subtle agreement. A treatment of being as something completed, not defeated, just seated in what I became. The same that was shaped by what never was named. I could frame it as fate or mistake or design, but good is a word that no longer applies. It is what it is, not because it must be, but because I allowed what it was to be me. And that's where it rests, not a test or a trial, just a file compiled over time and the final. No spiral returning to prior potential, just present made permanent. Simple, essential, this is the form. And it stays.
Yo, within the fixed form of faint fluctuation, a subtle sensation, escaping equation. No longer the vastness I once couldn't name, but not fully contained by the fact that it came in the space and the shape. Not as wide as before, but more than the form ever promised to store. Ashore with a hint of an infinity, quietly hiding inside of the me. I see, but the seeing is softer than sight. A light that is lighter than what I call light. Not breaking the structure, not shaking the ground, just making a sound that is barely a sound still.
something moves through. Something moves through.
Yeah. The edges that held me aren't edges the same. They frame what I am, but don't finish the frame. There's change in the range of what cannot be changed. A strange rearranging of what I contain. I remain what I am, but I'm not only that. There's a gap in the map that the map can't adapt. No trap, just a lapse in the clasp of the known. A tone that reminds me I'm never just one. No run back to formless, no loss of the made. Just a shade of a state that refuses to fade. It stays as a trace in the base of the real. I feel that the sealed isn't fully concealed if it's fade.
It can't hold what is not fully told. It can't hold what is not.
So I sit in a form that I cannot undo, but I notice a nuance I never quite knew. Not new, but not locked in the logic of same. A flame that remains without needing a name. No aim to
escape it, no shape to replace it. Just space in the placement. I'm placed in adjacent to something that hums underneath what I become. A sum that's not done, though it's counted as one. That's where it ends or begins in a sense. Not tense, not immense, just a quiet existence. Persistence of presence with room to extend. A bend at the end that suggests it could bend, not undone.